Hello friends, greetings. Welcome to How to VLAN channel. This is DBA VLAN stream. Today in this video, we are going to see how to set up a heterogeneous Oracle data guard. What? Heterogeneous. What is a heterogeneous Oracle data guard? So first, what is homogeneous? So when you have the primary and standby environment set up matching in each way the number of nodes, platform, memory, CPU, in terms of resource, everything matching between the primary and standby, they are called homogeneous. In case if they don't match, then it's called heterogeneous. Okay, if I just change the CPU and memory, is it called heterogeneous? Yes. And if I just change the memory and CPU, uh, is it going to change a lot? No. If you just change the memory and CPU, say for instance you have one primary, standalone primary and a standalone standby, and if you have 10 GB memory in the primary and just 5 GB memory in the standby, you can still reconfigure standby that way and it will still work fine. Just you will run with less amount of memory capacity, and there could be a purpose behind it. The people will say that a standby environment is a standby environment. We just need it for the time that we fix the primary. We don't want to spend a lot of money on the standby environment. There are projects, it depends on the project requirement or it depends on the client requirement, isn't it? Your RPO and RTO and so on. So you will be running with reduced workload, but you will still run. That's the important thing. So people who are fine with that, they'll go with just the resource reduction alone. But there are other types of heterogeneous Oracle data guard we are going to see. How do we set it up? So as usual, here when I say heterogeneous, like I said, you can have resource difference, you can have the server numbers, number of server, or the type of deployment itself differing, and platform differing. Okay, so in our case, what are we going to see is the type of deployment differing. So we are going to set up a Oracle data guard between a real application cluster 2 node rack to a standalone standby. Our platforms are same. It's going to be Linux platform in both primary and standby, but we are going to change the way we lay out our the database architecture. It's not going to be a rack in the target in the standby. It's going to be a standalone. So in such case, how we deploy that, that is what we are going to see, and we will at the end of the video, when I say at the end, not in this video, in a separate video, we are also going to perform a switchover and switchback. So all that we are going to perform and certify that our heterogeneous Oracle rack data guard works fine. There is a note ID from Oracle. In any case, if you set up a heterogeneous Oracle data guard, what all you should honor and what all you should validate. For instance, if you're setting up a heterogeneous data guard between an exadata and a non-exadata, you need to be very careful when it comes to the usage of HCC feature because it impacts the storage itself. The way your block is stored when you use HCC, it will be different. When you go to an standalone environment, and if the standalone is not in Exadata, then you will not be able to retrieve that block. It will throw an error because that particular block is compressed by an Exadata feature. So all that you need to know. So there is a note ID. I will publish that in my blog. You can take a look. But for now, in our use case, in our particular scenario, we are going to set up an Oracle Rack Data Guard. Oracle not Rack Data Guard. We are going to set up a Data Guard standalone Data Guard for our Rack primary. Let's get started. This time I'm not going to show you this notepad where we blow up our steps. I'm going to show you our Excel workbook which I have already prepared for this because there are a lot of steps involved on this. So I need to run through these steps one by one. So there are steps which needs to be executed in primary, and there are steps which needs to be executed in standby. So let's get started. This is my primary environment. This one is node 1. This is node 2. I'm yet to connect to my standby environment. When I connect it, I'll show you that. So this is my primary node 1. So I'll show you how the rack is set up. So this is our rack cluster. You can see here both the instances are open and the database name is 19C and database is in read mode. The first and foremost requirement for a standby environment to exist is force logging, but now from 19C there are some features which you can activate even without force logging. I mean, even you can skip some batch data load logging operation, but you will still need to recover the standby using incremental backups. So some new features were introduced in order to suppress the logging even with force logging turned on in the primary. So first we will verify whether our database has force logging enabled. So let's place our command here. Let's check if it's active already. It's not, so we need to activate the force logging feature. So I activated it now. Let's check if the force logging is on. Yes, that's it. This step is completed. So we will just mark here force logging done. So this is how we do the force logging setup. So we have now made the first step ready. Second step, password file should be available in the primary and standby. So first we need to verify the the password file is there in the primary. I need to verify. See, this is again the node 2 I'm just using for checking the password file location. Okay, I'm going to check the DB password file location. Let's see in the servicetl config where the password file is located. Since it's a age old laptop, guys, so it takes few minutes for response. See, the password file is located in a shared path and it is located in a ASM disk group. So as long as it's there, we are happy. So we say password file exists. Password file exists. So we can move forward. And the location of the password file is this. So I'll just take down this information altogether. You don't need to create it, but if you want to know how to create it, I will put a URL or reference for you. Password file exists. For all you want to create it, the command will be over pwd file, the path of the file, or if you just don't mention the path, it will dump the password file in the same location where you are in, or pw underscore the SID you need to mention, and it will ask you for the sys password. So that's all. So very simple. Now let's move on to the next step. We need to add redo logs, standby redo logs for the primary. Okay, so let's copy paste this command. And being this is, so here is that's one other additional difference you're going to see. I am going to set up this heterogeneous data guard between ASM and a non-ASM or file system based standby. So what are the differences we have? One is it's a rack, and second one is ASM primary file system standby. You may wonder why you want to set a file system standby. I mean, let's assume for now ASM is overhead, but it's really not. It gives you a lot of benefits. But for now, I'm just saying ASM running. See, my laptop ASM is overhead. Reason I need to allocate memory for it. I don't have such memory and operating capability in my laptop, so I'm just going to set it up in my file system. All right. So let's go the setup now. Show parameter. I want to check if the recovery log log file create test is set. Db create online log test. Sorry guys, so it is not set, so we need to probably manually add it. So I'll just say what is my size, how many redo logs I have. Need to first verify. I have 4 redo logs, 2 per each thread. So I'm going to set up 3 standby redo logs per thread. That's all. So the size of the redo log is the default size 200 MB. So we just say 200 and we just say plus data. That's all. Nothing more than that. It will automatically create that log file for us. Add standby log file. And you need to mention the thread and size. Just give me that. Alright, so okay. Alright, these are the commands we are going to run to add our standby redo log. So let's go ahead and get started. And once we add it, we'll verify if they're reflecting fine. It takes a minute. So we can see here one is already unassigned. See the path. See, this is the standby redo log, group 11. Just added. So let's run through all of this. Fast forward. Even if I try fast forward, this machine is slow, guys. So for running a real application cluster, my laptop is not so good. It still functions, which is a good news. So this is done. If I had my db create file as set properly, I wouldn't have given the path actually. So I wouldn't have given this plus data. Alright, so now let's move on to the next step. What's the next step? We need to set up the init parameters at the primary. See, whatever we do, we are doing it at the primary. So init param. So what are the init params we need to set? This is coming from Oracle documentation site. You can take a look. So the primary db name, db unique name are going to be same in the primary. But my target will, I need to identify a name. So here what is my, I didn't tell you the primary and standby names. I even did not decide myself for the name. So the primary is db name is Oracle 19c. db unique name is going to be same as what is here in the db name. Standby db name is still the same, but db unique name, let's say standby 1. Okay, this is our first standby for this database, so I named this as my standby. So now I know what would be my value. So here whatever it mentions Chicago, I need to just do a control F. Anyway, I'll do it one by one, it's okay. Okay, so this is what my values will be. And control files, it's already set up, so I will not change the control file path. Log archive dest 1, I need to set it to this value. Alright, so I'll just set this to this value. db unique name is should be set to Oracle 19c. Dest 2. Alright, this will be the dest 2. Remember, we have not set up our standby yet, so the log archive dest 2, as soon as you set, start throwing an error in the alert log, but don't worry about it. Most of the time, remote login password file will be exclusive. Don't worry about it. Again, log archive format, I don't think it will honor it. Oracle is going to honor this, but anyway, we'll see. Okay. This is the default one, I guess, but we will see. Maybe it's .dbf. We need to just set it to .arc. Let's first verify what is our DB name. So let's see where we are. Okay. Let's create a directory for standby setup. Create p file equals p file. So let's create the p file. 31st October 2024. Pre-mod. So we are saving this file before modification. Did I check if I have p file proper? Yeah, it says p file only. All that you need to verify. So now let's look at the variables. Forget about all these parameters. We don't need. We need to check the DB name is fine, but DB unique name is not set. I don't know what is this. DW helper instance read only something. I don't know. There is no such. I don't know. It's fine. Fine. Forget about it for now. Right. Rather than dummy, I think it made a local listener by itself. It's okay. And let's go on. So I'll have some problem with this local listener, I guess. But we'll see. When we come to the setup completion, we'll see. First, I need to set up. This is a proper param. Params which are already proper. Show parameter. The default values I want to see. Remote login password file exclusive. This is, you don't need to change it and leave it this way. So this is already a proper param. But set otherwise this params most probably will not be proper. Should be .dbf, I think. Yeah, it's .dbf, so we need to set it. So let's set everything. DB nickname, right? Just set it to star. Then only you can actually make it working in the. See why I need to change the default value will be the same. Why you need to do it? Because when you do a duplicate database, you will be actually using a convert parameter. That convert parameter will look for all the parameters that are explicitly called out, and then only it will change them. So anyway, I think this is gonna work both ways. Let's see if it accepts or not, then we'll change it to SP5. But anyway, this format will never change, definitely will not change. I know it. So it will ask for a DB restart, but anyway, it's fine. Let's see. Others should be fine. The format is not a concern. We can change it later as well. I'll change it to only SID scope SP5. This we can. We'll definitely do a restart for the archive log setup. That time it can keep enable. It can come up, so it's not a concern. Okay, it doesn't accept, so alright, we're doing fine until now. Alright, so now let's look at this. Let's do a postmod check. compare the pre-mod and post-mod if they're matching. Yeah, DB nickname is set, log archive config, dest1, dest2, and service Boston. See, this is wrong. So I should have updated the service to proper value. Yeah, should be setting this to this value. Let's look at it. Yes, Boston. Okay, fine. So the next one, we need to set two more parameters. We need to set a file server. File server for this database will be the other one, standby. So this should be, how can I say, alright, what is the standby file? I think it's manual only default. File management is manual, so we need to set it to auto. So anyway, we will change this parameter also. But this is, both should work. And what's another parameter we need to change? We need to set up the arcade then. That we need. Anyway, we are going to restart the DB. Let's quickly finish it. This is done. Alright, until now we are done. Now let's do one more p-file creation, postmod version 2. Let's see if we see all the expected parameters properly set. So DB unique name, file server, log archive config, dest1 and dest2 is fine. Format is okay, so it's good. In param alignment is taken care. Now this is fine, params are proper, otherwise we need to set it. This value is also done. Now we need to do the next one, which is to restart the DB and enable arcade mode. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, let's restart the DB. Right now if you see, arcade is not enabled. So we need to start the DB. I'm going to use SR here for stopping the DB, and then I will start the DB in one node and enable the arcade, and then I'll shut it down again, and then I'll start both the nodes together. Let's wait for the DB restart. Now enable arcade mode. So what we now did is we prepared the primary for to participate in the dataguard setup. So I mean we are not yet done, but will be here. The next is standby full. Once that is done, we have some task we need to do both in primary and standby. Then after we need to restore the standby, and database standby setup will complete. Then after we have dataguard broker setup, then we have validation of the broker, then switch over. Most probably these two will be happening together and these two will be separate. Okay, this is going to be a pretty lengthy video, guys. Stay with me. Okay. Right, let's go on. It takes a while to get out. Let's check if needed. See if it takes much more time. I'll pause the video and continue from there. Yeah, it's done. Quick. It's done. Nice. So we will just start the DB in no one. No more mode. Okay, let me pause here. Alright, I missed a parameter which is DB recovery file disk size and DB recovery file test. So because of that I received an error 290271908 So we just note it down. Errors, if you don't set it up properly, these errors are expected. So, and these errors. This is the main error. translates to a variable that is not enabled properly. Alright, now let's move on. Enable archelog mode. Okay, let's do this. If you see now, there's no archelog mode. Database is mounted. Alright, it's done. Enabled, and archelog mode is on now. So let's shut it down here. And I don't want 1 GB because I don't have that much of capacity. I'm going to downsize this to 500 M. Let's do this now. Let's shut it down and let's start the DB once for all from both the nodes, and then let's move on. Okay, so let me pause here. I'll pause here. Alright, the DB is started now. You can see here I just issued this command to start the DB. Let's check the status of the DB. So it's returning back. Let's wait for it. 19C1 node 1 instance 1 is running on this node. Instance 2 is running on this node. So we're good. So we can use ASM profile also to start as long as both are on the same version, ASM and DB. If not, then you need to ensure that you set the database profile to start the DB. Okay, that's very important, because you may wonder, I have run ASM cmd lsdg and then running the database related commands. So fine, let's move on. So the database is up. Let's check. Alright, I'm just checking what are the key attributes we need, if we have them already enabled in the primary or not. You can see here our database in archelog mode and it's in force logging. We want to keep both the instances alive while we complete the setup. It's not mandatory. We can cover up the OS setting later on the second node, but I'm going to keep both of them alive and do all the settings so we don't miss any of the settings. And also it will be good to observe as well how does it happen. So both instances alive. Let's move on. Now whatever operation we need to perform, we need to do it on the standby. We moved on from the primary to the standby area. Let's close this. Let's connect to the standby. Alright. Page port. Right. Okay, so let's continue. This is my database server where we are going to set up the standby. We have 1.7 GB capacity in our data. I don't think this is going to be sufficient, so probably we may need to set it up in U01, or we need to add an additional disk. Let's see. I will set it up anyway. I will add an additional disk if needed. So we already have 4 database. Maybe I'll drop one of them. All of them are in 19C. So let's set up 1 DB. Probably I'll clean it up this database. So I'll get some capacity free. Let's go back. So what's the first step is to make an entry in. So until now, whatever we needed, it impacted the primary. Now we are into the standby era. So follow the screen colors properly so you understand where we are and what are we doing. This is primary. This is primary too, but this is standby. Okay, let me close all other ends so you don't get carried away. Right. So let's set up the standby settings. So first is to make an entry in etc aura tab for standby server for standby instance. So let's do it. All right. So this is command. Let's do it. Before we make any changes, we do a backup and we repeat the same here. Let's do the changes in order tab. Let's add this. All right, this is done. Entry added in standby. The next is to copy the password field from primary site to the standby site and ensure the password field matches the instance name. Okay, let's do that. We are going to run with the SB1 instance name, so just be aware. I told you already I'm in ASM profile, you can see here. So I'm going to fetch this password file to my local disk and transfer the file or to the target. So I copy this file to homework. Okay. See, it take a few seconds. Let's just give it a minute. All right. Ah, okay, it finished. All right. So let's keep it this way, no problem. And copy this file from over here to the server. Directly copy to the Oracle home. And then we said it will be, yep, Aura PW. So we said Aura PW and that. Okay, should be done. Nice, so it's done. We got the password file transferred. So we copied the password file. Copied as per the requirement. Now we completed the password file copy also. Now if at all you have TDE and SQL Natura, this is the step you need to pay attention to. You need to copy both SQL Natura and TDE, but I'm going to copy SQL Natura at any cost. But TDE setting, I don't have any TDE in the primary. So you need to pay attention to this now, okay? So see, there's no SQL Natura either. So I'll skip it. No SQL Natura or no TDE. If at all I need a TDE, I can set up one, no problem. I can set up a TDE with my Oracle rack. I have OKV. You guys have seen my OKV video. I can hook up it there. So I'll show you maybe at a separate video. and start the standby instance using only two params, db name and db unique name. Okay, so init param for standby, let's go name equal to oracle 19c, then start db unique oracle 19 csp1. But now we have to hold here. I'm not going to do an active db duplication, I'm going to do a backup based duplication, so I need to do a preparation for that. I need to perform a backup, db backup. So the screens are not belonging to the primary. Oracle 19 csp1.ora. Let's start the instance. And before I start the instance, I need to change my environment, right? I still have the old environment. Just give me a minute. I'll clean up this database. I don't need GG, that particular DB. Just give me a minute. Alright, I have cleaned up the other DB. Now I have 4.6 GB capacity. And you can see my environment variable is pointing to the new database name. Let's start the instance in no mode. Start no mode. And then we need to prepare for the DB restore then. No, we don't do the DB restore directly. We have some more work, but let's do it one by one. So in no mode we started. And then no mode. No mode the instance. It's done. So it's done. So now let's focus on the next one. So the next one is to create audit file directory in standby set and create control file directory in ASM in standby. So in our case, it's not going to be an ASM, it's going to be file system. So we need to still create the directory structure. So first of all, we need to see what's the audit file directory destination here. We got the pre-file backups, right? So let's check the post one. We need to create it in the same format. So when we do a conversion, everything works fine. So this is the location of the audit file dest primary. So we need to create a path like this. So in the standby, the VSP1. So let's create this path. So otherwise you will get an error when you start the DB cloning exercise. So it's done. And next, control file path. We are going to use OMF, and we already know what path we are going to use. It's going to be Vora data. Right, so let's go into Vora data. This, we have so many other DBs. What is here? I have a DB back. Probably I can clean it up. This will give me much more space. Yeah, another. And I don't run the instance SB1 from here. Fine, anyway, leave it. Rest I will not touch it now. So we need to create a directory for SB1. If you look at the other directory structure, you'll get some clue. You see here, this is the directory structure we need to have. So we need to have a control file. We just keep control file alone. Online log data file, database for create automatically. So this is the control file path. So we created the control file and database file path. So needed directories. Next. Until now everything is fine. Next task. We need to add the DNS entry in both primary and standby in both servers DNS names to Dora in DNS home. Okay. And let's do that now. We need to go to the DNS names to Dora file. Let's go here. This is the DNS names to Dora for this one. Let's see, is it reachable first? Within this host, maybe it will be reachable. Yeah. But from our outside server, this may not reach. For that, we need to make an entry. I need to see hosts like this. So what I will do is, since we are making this, I need to make an entry here. Otherwise, it won't work. For now, we say it's standby, but it's not really standby for many other DBs. So just be aware. Alright, so now it should be able to resolve. Or we can just make one IP address entry. It should be fine. So the primary DNS entry is here. So let's copy the primary DNS entry. Should contain this as well as CSP1. Should have the target IP which is for the file transfer. Yeah. Alright. I need to see this listener status. Okay, it's 151 only. Fine. Now you have both. See if I can ping this, if it works fine or not. You should rotate actually. It's not rotating. Fine. It's fine. So it's picking 104 all the time. I don't know why. Because 104 is the first entry. If you have a real DNS, it may rotate from one to other. Fine, anyway, it pings fine. So it resolves fine. So we'll put the DNS entry here and there. So as usual, we back up. This is a large volume of manual task here. But even if you skip one task, you will face problems. So you need to pay attention. You need to do slowly. But it's not tough, guys. So I already automated this procedure overall using Ansible, but I'm just practicing it again after a long time. The heterogeneous setup, I've done this I think 10 years back. So I want to just revise it now. So now we have the DNS property setup. Let's go here in the other node. Let's back up the TNS. You see, I don't have SQL Natura here as well. We never evaluated here, but ideally you check all the nodes. Right now, let's go here. A single TNS name Natura is already there, so we need both the entries here. And let's do 19C DNS ping. Yeah, it's all okay here in this standby. Here, oh no, it will not work because it's set to ASM profile. It should go. What take you so long? Okay, this also should go away. Yeah. Now I'll do this also. Right, now let's do this. It takes 1 second. Oh, 3 seconds to respond. 1 second to respond. Okay, good. Anyway, it's working. This note it down. DNS setup is complete. Now let's go on to the next one. We need to make a static entry in both primary and standby listeners for facilitating the active DB duplication. Ensure the global DB name is suggested DB name. We need to probably set this up in all the listeners. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, you can see here the static entries. I already prepared it. This is for the rack. And we will be changing the static entries to underscore DGMGR later when dataguard broker setup comes up. This is for the standby. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, come over here and because we need to reload or restart the listener once. So I'll just go here. We have to change. I'm setting it up in the local listener only. In case needed, I may change the TNS names to use the local listener rather than the web listener. Okay, so but there are some challenges. I'll talk to you about it. We'll talk about it later. So you should ideally use the scan listener. Okay. Right, this is the static entry for node 1. Next, I think I already preserved it. This is a static entry for node 2. And we need to add a static entry for standby. So already there is one static entry, so let's add one more using the same format. Now how ETC ORATAP is for you is for other services listener is the static entry is the one which will send the connection to the right Oracle home. That's the reason why you are making it. So we made the static entries. Okay, now I need to restart the listener once, or I need to reload the listeners. So the primary finished fast, right? You can see here. I don't know what is Oracle. Did I make? Oh my god, I made E at the end. Sorry. Oh, I made a mistake everywhere. Oh god. What is here? So I need to repeat this, guys. Sorry about that. I'll pause it here for a minute. All right. Um, yeah, I need to do some changes. So these are done. So Oracle home path, city, database home, database name, everything is aligned, and now you can see here I did the listener reload, it completed successfully. And you can see here one instance is an unknown, right? That unknown status is nothing but the static entry we made. So this properly aligned. So here also unknown 19C2. Here also you see unknown. The other one is blocked is the one which default comes up. So it's a listener default registered. So this is unknown, which is good. So all we have an unknown connection. So we have done this. So entry. Now we need to do a connection test. I do not know the credentials for the connection test. Okay, let me pause here. Let me find out what this is. All right. So I managed to find what my password is. You can see here I connected to the primary using the password. I connected fine. This is the standby. So the connection goes from here to the standby fine. This is very important, guys. So I'll see you the host name as well. You can see this is the host name of the target. And this time I don't know which node are you connecting to. Let's see. It takes a few minutes. So in the same way, we need to connect from standby to standby. Let's see. Yep. You need to connect from here also the same way. This is very important. You need to try this. You need to do this. All right. So we connected to rack 2. We connected here. We didn't verify. Anyway, it's okay. So the connection test is complete. Let me pause here and I'll come back again for the backup restore. I'll prepare the commands and we'll continue from there. All right. So we stopped at backup step earlier. Now we needed to perform a backup and restore. I'm not going to connect to the source database access and do a duplicate database for standby from ActiveDB. I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to add a complexity. I don't want to touch the source database for any reason. I wanted to take a backup from the source and do whatever I want to do in the target, because that way, in case if my duplicate database command fails, I have a backup. I can retry as many as times I want with just the backup alone available for me. So that's the aim. So I have the commands ready. So this is where we ended. Okay, so we stopped at listener status and reload. We finished it until here. Now we need to just start the listener in the target. So let's start that. Right, this is fine. It will come up. Next, we need to perform a backup. Let's initiate the backup. The database in the source is already in archlog mode. So This minute. Yep. Yeah. So this is fine too. Now let's do this. Let's take a backup of the DB. Yeah. This is the backup command. And put the wrapper, so I forgot that. Always use a shell script and a command file to do the backup, because even if you miss something, you can re-edit it, and then in the future also you will be able to recollect what has happened. If you don't store them, then it will be a problem always. Command file. Backup. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. See the files. Okay, so this is going to take a consistent backup for our standby. Okay, let's start the backup. Right, did it finish? So quick. Okay, R1 command not found. All right. Oh yes, it's 19C1. I should put. Okay, fine. That's the issue. Yes, so let's do this. All right, so it's running now. Let's check in a few minutes. Pass here. Fine, so if you see here, the backup is done. Let's just evaluate the log. And this is the pre-archive log backup, and this is DB backup, system successes undo and right. And this is again archive log backup post and auto backup, control file backup. So you'll see two control file backups here. One here, and there should be one more. If you see here, yep, you see here. There is one more including current control file in the backup. So the two control file backups are there. So what we need to use as our point in time is this one. Oracle suggests we can use this as well, but I'll just prefer 12.01.43. This should be a clean time for us to use the P8 here. So this can be transformed as 12, so 01 November 2024 and 12.01.43. Yes, so this is what our P8 here is. So I'll explain you how did I frame the command now. So this is done. Transfer the backup pieces. Let's do the backup piece transfer. And you can see it finished fine. Recovery manager complete. So no errors reported. As usual we do. me just verify if everything is all okay. Yes, everything's fine. So now let's do this. So let's transfer the pieces. Probably I'll go here. I'll remove this. DB backup 192, 160, 194.11. Right, let's do it. Okay, let it get transferred. It's 100 MB or something like that. It should go quick. It should finish in a minute. Right, it's taking time. Yeah, finished. So, alright, this is our backup location, isn't it? Now the restore command, transfer pieces. Alright, that's done. Now let's look at the restore command. So this is a restore command. See, we are only connecting to the auxiliary channel. We are not going to connect to the target. That's the whole idea behind this. We don't want to connect to the source database for any reason. Like I said in the beginning of the call, we will only use the auxiliary database, which is the target, to perform our operation. So we connect to the auxiliary. We write this is a command for the restore, and this is command log file. Alright, so let's create the command file. So this is a command file already prepared. Let me walk through this. We only connect to the auxiliary channels, so we want to increase the parallelism, so I put 3 channels. So we are performing duplicate target database for standby until time. This is the date we came up from the log file. We already saw that. And this is when the data file backup finished. So we say this is when the DB file backup finished. Otherwise, I will forget myself. So I'll just put a snippet of the log also. Just be with me, guys. Alright, so I've just put a snippet of the snip. Right. Alright, now let's do it. Fine, the pieces are here. Let's go on. So now look at this. This is how the timestamp is arrived. SP file. We are going to use the SP file, and the SP file is also part of the backup piece. So Oracle should automatically pick it up. And you see, the first thing is that we use the parameter file value convert. So we're setting a lot of parameters. We may miss 1 or 2 parameters. Say for instance, I explicitly missed audit this. So how did I frame this parameter file? So what normally I do is, see, I have opened the parameter file from the source. I'll just show you one example. I paste it like this. Then I classify the parameters into 3 categories. One, params to be removed, params to be added, and params to be modified. These are the 3 categories I categorize the overall parameter settings. So for instance, this parameter, I don't need to do anything. I need to change it. So I just mention it like this. It should be ESB1. So using the same method, I already finished all the parameter changes. See here, parameters to be removed, parameters to be added. There is no new parameter we are going to add, but we are changing the parameters. So db create file list is already set. Because it's list data, but I changed it to db create file list. So this is how we do it. I probably need to set db create online log test 1 and test 2. We will probably do that now because I didn't do it. It's good for this recording. Say for instance db name is changing. It's not changing, so it's the same. db unique name is changing. You see here it's in the change list, so we added it here. Control files, yes, the path will change because we are using ASM. So the complexity is we are using heterogeneous, not just heterogeneous. We are using ASM in the source. In the target we are going to use file system. So control file path is changing, so we set the path. You can see it's included here. The file server is changing, so but it's not mentioned anywhere here. Yes, but the false, yeah, file server, yes, it's mentioned here. File server is changing, so we included it here. Log, okay, probably will go down to bottom, right? Log audit log test, I didn't set it. The reason is it's anyway coming from the parameter value convert. You see, audit file test is not set here. Second, cluster database set to false. Yes, I have cluster database set to false. Control files, yes, we set the path of the control file. db create file test store data, yes, it is set. db unique name is changing, yes, it's set. Dispatches, we're not setting it because it's just the name change only. So the name change will be taken care by parameter value convert. And false server, yes, we have set that. Log guide test one. So this is changed here as well. Log archive test 2 is changed here too. So these are the parameters which are changing. Now we need to see what are the new parameters we are adding. Is db create file test? Yes, it's already there, right? We reviewed it already. db create file test is already there. Okay. Now we need to see which parameters are to be removed. See, we're not setting any new parameters here, right? So we don't have anything to review, but remove. We need to remove the instance mode parameter. I remove the reset, remove instance name, instance number I'm resetting, and the local listener I'm removing. Thread, because default thread will be 1, so we don't need to set that. Undo table space, we don't care really. Reason is the default undo table space with star only will be picked up. We don't have an instance with 1 and 2 here. We don't have any instance specific parameter in the target because the instance name will change. It's SB1. None of these instance specific parameters is going to influence our target, so we don't need to really worry about them, but I still reset them. So this undo table space I don't want to mention reset because I have star parameter. Star means it implies all the instances, so I don't want to touch it. That's the reason I left. The others are instance specific parameters, so I removed them. Now next is the location of the backup. We just transferred the backup, so you saw the location here. This is the location, home oracle dba is my backup. So we set up db backup and no file name check. This is it. So we're done, and this is the command we are going to fire. I'll frame this and then let's fire it. Before we do it, we wanted to set the db create online log test, isn't it? Let's check this alone. So our online log destinations are all, our redo logs destinations are also taken care. Online create online log test 1, test 2. So how many path members are here? So there is one member for each group, I guess. Yeah. db create online log test 1. I'll set some path for this. So new path, which is not there in the source, star dot equals data 2. That's the same path we need to set it here. Like set db create online log test 1. All right, now let's do this. Okay. Next is the shell script. So we need to just frame the same shell script dot sh, and we just put this. I'll just edit this. Okay, the files are ready. I prepared them. Now let's do this. So I need to start the instance. See, the instance is down. What did we say before we said that? I need to break this video into multiple parts, like I said. Even within the part, I was not able to do it in a single go. It's taking a lot of time. So I did until the first part of the prep work until yesterday, and now I'm continuing this task, right? So I shut the instance down. So I'm now starting the instance. So the instance should have started. Let's see. Instance is alive. And we grab our Alright, so alright, let me initiate the restore. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure we are not going to face problem because none of the time the duplicate command is mostly built by Oracle, right? So what it expects, what it doesn't expect, we do not know. Each time it expects a different routine. So let's see. It failed already. Let's see this. I should have done this check syntax. I didn't do that. Maybe it's a syntax issue, I think. Yeah. Equal to false. I should have put it in a single quote. But there's no here. This is, I mean, it's not necessary to be put in single quote in the real world, but here in this duplicate command, you need to do it like this. But really, in the init setting, it's not in single quote because it's a boolean operator, right? So in the back, okay, what did it do? It didn't throw anything. Just finish, failed. Like I said, we could not get this through in the first attempt. Let's try again. Let's face the next issue. Okay, where it has failed. It will take 2 or 3 routines. This is the reason we wanted to avoid the connection to the primary. A version of the SP file backup created before and not found here. Alright, so it says there is no backup of SP file found here. Create. Alright. This is tricky because even in the Oracle note 154.399.6.1, 154.399.6.1, they chose a time window like this and it worked for them. So, maybe I need to change the time. I'll change it anyway. It's not an issue. Let's try changing the. Let's go by the error. Let's not go by what Oracle says, right? In the doc, it says I should be putting a different time. So I just insert the new one and I'll remove the old one. It says that until time I'll just archive this. I need to choose a new one. The new one will be auto backup time, but Oracle clearly says the auto backup we should not use. But we will have no choice because it's not sensing this. I probably need to use this backup. $1201.49. Let's take this over there. So this is the main reason I wanted to add more and more complexity. So we'll now it will work, but I think it will fail in the recovery phase because it doesn't have all the archives it needs. So let's try it anyway. Let this move and fail where it has to fail. It's done again. So we are fixing one by one error. It is there and it's not recognizing them. Oh yes, I think I found the reason. I think I knew it. I don't need to change the time. See, this is an auto backup. It's kept in a different location. So if we just move it from ASM, CMD CPE, we just move this file over to DB backup. I think we should be good. We just need to move this also into that same command, and let's change the time back to the original one we had, and let's see how it works. Oh, alright. So I should have given the whole path. This is a mistake from my end. I should have realized this. This is what you learn from a real exercise. When you really do this exercise, that's what you learn. Otherwise, you will not know these errors. Okay, this oracle will not even call out. This is adding more and more complexity. Teaches you a lot. So now it should work. I'm going to revert the command back to as it was before. It was a value before, right? So I'll just put it back to the same value. Even now it should not work, but let's see what Oracle does. Done, very good. It's the same error, I think it failed. Alright, now it still fails with the same. Okay, so I think I will put back to the new value. Let's see what it does. This is the new value. I wanted to see it working. It didn't fail, it failed again. It cannot be, isn't it? So, isn't it? We have an auto backup, isn't it? In the backup command. Otherwise, I need to prepare the SP file full. I can. We have the P file. We can create an SP file and then we can just let the restore running. What I don't want to do, I wanted this duplicate command to fire. See, it didn't work. This one, it didn't work with this one. The only time I didn't try was 120147. Let me try 120147 too. It's an auto backup, right? Let's see if it. This is the actual time that Oracle used in its node. Maybe I don't understand why will it work, but if it works, it's a mystery. But we'll give it a try. Yes, it failed. It's done. Yes, it's failed at the same place. No difference. So the duplicate commands failing to sense the SP5. So it's there. Oh, it's not there. Where did it then go? File transfer. I am sorry, really. Oh god, I put this in this path, which is why it didn't work. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. It was in this original path. Huh? I should have checked this basically. I'll now try again. The original one. Let's see. Basically, I'm just trying to see if it succeeds with the original. If it still fails, yes, it fails. So it really wants the file, SP file from the past, or it can occur. Now it should work then with the latest one. We don't need to go to any other thing. Any other time, let's go to 12:47. Sorry, 49. That's what Oracle is expecting. 12:49. But this will fail with the arclog insufficient. You cannot go to the time because arclog is missing. It will fail. See, it's running now. So then we will see how we can take a new backup. Alright, so what are the errors? Reset instance mode, yeah. It didn't pick up the instance mode, so it didn't find it in the SP file. I need to set something like this. If I wanted to remove the instance mode, like this, reset instance mode, family DW helper. I need to mention something like that. Let me see if it works with the family DW helper. I don't know if this is really a concern, but let me give it a try. We wanted to do as much as possible in a disciplined way. What did it do? It just tried setting only, so it didn't change anything. Did it create a SP file? Did it restart the DB? It did not. It did not. Definitely it restored an SP file. Yeah. Let's remove it, otherwise it may throw an error saying SP file already exists. Before we retry this. Let's rename this to something like 24. Now let's change. Alright, let's change this to reset instance mode. Did not even let this run. I think this again failed because of syntax error. Framed badly. Alright, I think we cannot do anything with it. Parameter. I'll remove this param setting reset. I should be doing this in the source if at all I do it. I think we will go past. No, this time. Why? Failed. File already exists. See, I told you this one. Identify. Why it needs that file? It needs to restore the file. Why it needs it? How does it know? Okay. Did it start already? Or restart it? I think it started it. Yeah, it's restarted the instance. That's the reason. Let me remove it. All right. So, huddle by huddle, we have to fix it. Just a minute. Just go. Yes, let's try again. I think we have fixed the parameter problem. Yeah, the DB restore began now. I know definitely you're going to face a problem towards the end. That is going to say missing archeologs. All right, what is the next issue? It restored the SP file and it now failed, saying it's not able to reset the instance number. Yeah, I think instance number local listener is fine, but instance number and thread number we need to remove, I think, because SP file, yeah. It says it did not find. Okay, so let's remove one by one. Like I said, I did it before 10 years. I didn't use duplicate database that time. I prepared the backup and p file and did the restore. So I'm going to remove all this. So there's two more parameters. Let's see how it works. All right, let's remove this instance number. Why is it saying it didn't find? Let's find that. Did it really not find it? Why it says it's not finding the entry? You should find the entry. Very good. Instance number is thread is there, under tables is also there. But it says it didn't find. But good thing is you can see here it changed this path and the dispatcher path. I told you this, I'm not going to change it. But it didn't change DB recovery file test path. I probably should have changed this. I will set a new path for this now before I restart it. How did I miss DB recovery file test? Why is it not here? Because this was created before I set the DB recovery file test. Okay, I'll change it now. I need to introduce a new variable here. I need to edit it. I'll set it back to the other parameters are not going to influence us, so don't worry. I'll set this back to our arc. And I'll set the same here. Alright, set our db recovery first equal to our arc. And now I need to restart the instance. And remove the SP file. Then and I need to just set one more parameter like I spoke. Let me add that. I know this is running lengthy, guys. Stay with me. I'm showing you what I do. Okay. This is done now. And we need to start the instance again. Did we start it with the P file? Yes. Let's go ahead and file restore again. Okay, it just passed it. I don't know whether it will succeed this time. See, this is normally happens, guys, so don't worry about this. This now went beyond the SP file step now. Next step, I think it will do the DB restore and then it will recover the DB and give it to us. And let's see. So what we learned from this exercise now, we could have secured an SP file backup before the actual DB backup started. So if we had done that, we would not face this arcalog problem. So let's wait for it. It restored the control file. It mounted, right. So this is the problem. 12149 is ahead of next time in arcalog, 12146. This is good. This is good actually. So what we need is, now we have no choice. We have to take a new backup. We need to take an SP file backup before the, yeah, we need to take a SP file backup before the actual DB backup was performed in such way that we will not face this problem. All right, so done. Let me stop here so I can take a backup and I can come back quickly. Then I'll show you guys, okay? Fine. So I secured a new backup. This time I include a backup SP file backup current control file also be in the backup command. There's no way you can bypass that. So we have the same command. Now the timestamp is adjusted to the same like I said in the past. I will use only the data file timestamp closure. You can see here. I set it to the time the data file backup finished, which is 12:48:36. So I think this time we should be good, guys. I already restarted the instance, removed the SP file and the control file before. I'm going to try this operation. You can see I already removed it. Instance is restarted and it's not using SP file anymore. Let's fire this restore. I'm hoping this time it should work fine. And I have documented all the learnings from this. So next time I will not face any more problem. Oh, why did I do that without an ampersand? Anyway, it will run fine. This has not pushed in the background. I think it's going fine. I don't know. Here only probably I'll cancel this. Fine, I'll just... Yes, I didn't read the restart of the instance. Just restore the DB SP5. So I'll just clean this one up as well. Did it do anything else? No. Because I wanted it to be pushed in the background. Let's check if it used P file or SP file. It's P file. Done. This time is proper. Let's see how it works. It's running, guys. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I think this time it will go through because we got all what I'm from me logically. I think I got everything covered because this is duplicate database command. Okay, again say when you duplicate database command is already constructed by Oracle as a wrapper, and what it expects, what it doesn't expect. When you really fire the command, then only you learn. And backup based duplicate adds a level of complexity further. So because it needs to construct all the pieces from the backup only available, it needs to learn and do the restore. So this is what is happening now. See, now it didn't throw an error that we faced last time. It's restoring the DB, and you can see it's already restoring it to the... I forgot to tell you. See, I'm not using... I'm using OMF in the source. So I'm not expected to face any problem. You see here. I'm using OMF in the source. Under table space, location, system stocks, everything is OMF. That's the reason I didn't use any data file name convert or log file name convert. I just put the OMF names. So that's one important advantage of OMF. Even if in your project, if you're not using OMF, you will face this problem of setting the DB file name convert and log file name convert manually, and you will have problems. So let's see. Hopefully this will finish fine. Once this finishes, let's see if we can put the DB into recovery mode also. It's finished. All right, done. So after so many hustles, it's learning. Good learning, isn't it? So restore finished. But I am surprised it didn't do the restore. Why was it then raising so many concerns about the archlog availability? Just finished duplicate database command and exited. It should not have done. It should not have thrown warning or issues about availability of the archlog, isn't it? Duplicating online logs to OMF location. OMF location. So I think it duplicated reader log file and archlog. So not online log to OMF. Let's see how it looks now. The deviation. Let's see the... I'm very interested in looking at this. Give me a minute. Super. It created all the redo logs here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are 2 threads per thread. There are 2 groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4 belongs to the online log. Type command member, I can fire. Commands. Oracle saying there is a new CLI feature where it's a column with automatically adjusts. Guys, if you know about it, just comment it in my video comment. You can see here online log and standby log, right? So which is properly created. You don't need to do any action here then. Let's go on. So let's the DB restore is finished. Select. So I wanted to check the we need to perform the validation, isn't it? Let's go as per what we find. Database is mounted, DB unique name is 19 CSP1, database role is physical standby. Terminal system 124809 is the checkpoint change number. What was the number we gave in our command? Was it 124809? Don't think it's 124809, isn't it? I think it was 124836. See, they did not recover the archive logs. Anyway, it's okay. We have the archive logs in the source. When you initiate the recovery, it will automatically happen. So what we need to try is to put the DB into recovery mode. But before I do that, I just need to verify some more setting. See, it's thread 1 and thread 2. For us here, it is only one thread. If you just fire thread, it will show you only thread 0. Oh, good. It's not thread 1 either. It's thread 0. And select start from $, thread. Both are open and the per thread is enabled as public. But you see here, thread 1 is used by the instance Oracle 19C SB1. Thread 2 is not used. Okay. We don't need to worry about this now, but thread 1 is what will be used for the recovery. Not recovery. Thread 1 is what we are really concerned about. Though it says thread 0, but thread 1 is what is used here. You can see the instance which is using it. So, fine. Let's go on. Let's look at the temp file path. The temp file path is already in the OMF naming convention. It's not created though yet. It will get created when it needed. And file hash, come on. Data file RY1 is okay. So now we need to see how our recovery params are set. This is its own destination, and you know the DB recovery file dest is already copied. So now let's check the other one. This is the remote one, and we need to see where it will fetch the archives from the config and false server. That's the important parameter. You should fetch all the archive logs from here. Fetch archive log server, and am I able to reach the machine? Yes. So let's try it. All right, this is a truth story. We're going to see the truth now. Truth telling time. Even if you face any problem, I'm sure we can fix it. No issues. Let's pick it up one by one. All right, it's already doing something. Let's check if it's doing something. Standby and recovery needed. Okay. Is MRP running? No. Alright. Let's see. I'm initiating the MRP, begin MRP. Let's see if it is able to fetch it. Alright, media recovery log. From which log it's picking up? Not clear. Defined. Okay, stop clearing online reader logs. We don't need online reader log. Completed. Okay. So let's see if it's able to fetch the reader logs. Applying log 20. What's in the source? Let's see. Oh, it takes a lot of time. Yes. Alright. Let's do it. Hmm. Alright, what's the sequence number? Current is 20 and 12. So let's set auto system. Switch log file. No, auto system. Archive. Current. Archive log current. Current. Okay, so checkpoint. Okay. Alright, 21 and 13. 21 and 13. So let's see. Okay, it's picked up fine. So it goes on. The recovery is running fine. And next is we need to configure dataguard broker. This video completes here. So this is our objective. So let's go back to the plan. You see here we just tweaked this step. We didn't use active DB duplication, which would have been far easier. But we did not disturb the active database at all. We used the backup alone and we completed until here. Next is broker. In the next video we will meet. Hope you liked this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If at all you guys want to see whether the little sync is really happening or not, let me just try restarting the DB in read-only mode. And let's see, that's an auxiliary. I wanted to really see if I can read the data also. Let's see guys, give me a minute. Let's open the DB. Anyways, a physical standby database, nothing's gonna happen. Come on, go, 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 go. Start up. Right. Mm, Select from a DB underscore tables. This table does not exist right now, so I'm just creating it. Alright, so I have some new table added as if after the standby is created. I have 1780 records. See now, you see the table does not exist because the recovery is not running at the moment. Physical standby database, DB nickname, and read only. Okay. All right. Let's see. Its recovery is initiated now. Now the recovery is running. See if we are able to see the record now. Yes. So this is how we validate it. The table is now accessible. Earlier, before the recovery was running, it was not available. Now it's available. So this confirms our procedure is fine. Even in the heterogeneous dataguard setup, we don't need to make any adjustment to the redo logger thread. Oracle automatically senses them and it does take care of it. And if you see here how the standby redo logs are used, I think we didn't use standby redo log because we didn't say no delay. So standby, yes, may be used, may not be used, but let's see. Is using both the threads 21 and 13 is active, fine. So let's see. Let's see. Let's check it next. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we see this is active. Checkpoint. Let's check this. 22 current and 14. 22, 14. Okay. All right. All good now. This completes the video. Let's check it. All right. All right. All right. Thanks, guys. I think you like this video. You know, it's pretty lengthy. Again, as usual, my videos have never been shorter, because I show you what I do. And we do live troubleshooting, and I hope it adds a lot of value to your experience as well, because as if you learn from the real commands and real errors, how we troubleshoot, how we fix forward, and so on. I don't hide anything when it comes to fixing the issue, how we fix it, and how we move forward. I even documented the learnings. You see here what are the various learnings for this particular duplicate routine. So how you fix it, and now how you get a active standby database. It's an active data guard. We have it running, and you're able to read the data as well. Alright, so hope you like this video. If you like this, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to How to Balance channel and look for new videos. And please share it with your friends, guys. We'll meet in the next video because it's a 3 or 4 part series. First part only is over. We have 3 more parts. Let's meet. Thank you, guys. Bye.